Good morning, students. We will continue the previous class. Okay. So now here in this class we are going to discuss about the refraction through a prism. In last class we seen refraction through a lens. Now we are going to discuss about refraction through the prism. What do you mean by prism? Prism is also an optical medium. I mean it is a transparent medium. How it looks? See here, I have drawn the diagram of prism. An optical medium bounded by three rectangular refracting surfaces and two triangular refracting surfaces. I mean an optical medium bounded, made by three rectangular refracting surfaces and two triangular surfaces called as prism. Look here on this diagram. This is called as prism. It made by three rectangular surfaces. Which are those here? You look here. That base B, E, F, C. It is one base. It is the base of that prism. That is rectangular. First rectangular surface. Then one more is there. That side. It is held like this type. This is base. Front, towards you. Front looking triangle. Front it looking triangle. A, B, C. A, B, C. Front triangle. This side one rectangular surface there, and this side another rectangular surface there, and at the bottom one more is there. That bottom one already I told, this one B, E, F, C. This bottom one is B, E, F, C. This side A, B, okay, E, B, A, back side D, okay, E, and here B. Front AB, and it is going like this. At top here D is there, and at bottom E is there. AB, ED, this one another rectangular surface. Similarly here one more is there. It made by three rectangular surfaces and two parallel triangle. This front one ABC to this back side that looking parallel. Getting what I mean to say? Two. This front one and that back one. A, B, C, D, E, F. These two are triangular refracting surface which are in parallel with respect to each other. This we call as a prism. Simple. It is also an optical medium bounded by three rectangular and two triangular refracting surface. Okay, now when light is going to strike or going to incident on this prism, it going to get refract through that. It going to pass through that and finally going to come out from that prism. So now you see here some few words there. Here, this angle of prism. This one I have named as angle of prism. See, angle between two rectangular refracting surface is called as angle of the prism. I say here one rectangular surface there and here one more is there. Angle between them. This is first rectangular, this is second rectangular. Angle between them is called as angle of the prism. This A is called as the angle of the prism. Then this line, AD line, is called as the refracting edge or refracting edge, line. What it means? A line, here this is one rectangular refracting surface, this is another rectangular surface. Here at the top there is one horizontal line called AD. That line is going to intersect these two surfaces. It's going to intersect them. It's going to divide them. the intersecting line of those two rectangular refracting surface is called as refracting edge. This is called as refracting edge, and this one is called as angle of the prism. And one more is there, refracting surface. The surface through which light is passing is called as refracting surface. This one or this one, anyone. The surface through which light is passing is called as refracting surface. Okay, yes, you should know this is this much about the prism. After this, here we are going to derive an expression of refractive index of the prism. Refractive index of the prism means what? Here, look on this diagram. Here we have taken the prism, that too we focused on its front surface like this, A, B, C. Here this side one rectangular refracting surface there, and here one more is there. This is front view, A, B, C. A light ray, you see, look on this diagram, how light is propagating through that prism. A light, it is going to strike on this side rectangular refracting surface. Light is coming like this, on this one. It going to hit on this rectangular one, this light ray PQ. PQ is a light ray which is going to strike on this one, and it is passing through that prism and finally going to come out from the prism. This is prism. It entering like this, getting refracted through that, and finally coming out from that prism. Here we are going to discuss about the how refraction phenomena is going to take place through this prism. Firstly, you just know here, you should know here, this prism is surrounded by homogeneous medium called air. See here there is a air medium is there. Air medium is there of refractive index N1. This PQ light is coming from air medium and entering into that prism medium. That prism may be made by glass or quartz material. Now think it made by glass material. I mean, this is N2. I am going to name it as N2. N2 is the glass medium. Okay. Now you see here, this PQ light ray going to strike that surface, this side surface. Okay. I mean, this PQ light is moving from rarer medium to denser medium. Yes. This PQ light got incident here at this point. At the point Q. To that point, immediately you have to draw one normal. To this AB surface, you have to draw one normal. To that point. Yes. This is a normal line. This PQ incident light, instead of going straight along this dotted line, it is bending towards the normal. This red line is normal. This PQ light, instead of going straight, bending towards the normal. Why? Because it moving from rarer medium to denser medium. Getting what I mean to say? Yes. Now that PQ light got bent towards the normal and propagating along QR line. This is QR. See here, this is QR. That QR is refracted light ray for AB surface, and it is looking incident light ray for AC surface. This light QR going to strike that AC surface here. Getting? Yes. Before that, here I is the angle of incidence. I is the angle of incident at first surface AB. Then here R1 is there. R1 is the angle angle of refraction with respect to first surface AB. This one, this angle of refraction. Then here I named delta 1. What is that delta 1? Delta 1 is the angle of deviation at first surface AB. I mean what? This PQ light, instead of going straight, instead of going like this, it gone along QR. I mean it changed their path by this angle. That's why we call it as angle of deviation at first surface AB. This is delta. Have you understood? Yes. Now look on that light ray QR. This QR got incident on second surface AC. Now QR is moving from denser medium to rarer medium. That you keep in your mind. Now to that point of incidence, again you draw one normal. This red colored dotted line indicating normal to that point of incidence R. Okay. Now QR light moving from denser to rarer. Instead, look on this QR line, QR. Instead of going along this dotted line, that line moved here along RS. This I call as S. This line QR, instead of going straight, it bent away from the normal. Normal is here. Instead of going straight, it bent away from the normal because of movement from denser to rarer. Okay? Yes. Now you see here. Look on this one. What I mean to say. This QR is incident light ray to the AC surface. That's why this angle, this R2. This R2 is the angle of incidence for first surface AC. R2 is the angle of incidence. Okay, fine. Now this angle, look here, this is normal and this is emergent light ray. RS is refracted light ray. Okay, now this angle from red line to this one, which I named as E is nothing but emergent angle. Are you getting what I mean to say? Emergent angle, final. RS light is emergent light. I mean light ray which is coming out from the prism. So that angle, instead of calling as angle of refraction, we named as emergent angle. Both are same. Getting what I mean to say? This is emergent or refracted angle. Now here, look here, delta 2 is there. What that delta 2? Again look on this QR line. QR line, instead of coming along this dotted line, it gone along RS path. I mean it changed their path by this angle. That angle I named as delta 2. That is nothing but angle of deviation at second surface AC. Have you understood? Now look here. This delta 2 I shifted, and one more thing is that this RS emergent light ray I have extended in backward direction. Look here. This RS emergent light ray I have extended in backward direction. That backward extended line going to cross that extended line of incident path. PQ, this dotted line is the initial direction. I mean the incident path of the light through the prism. In this direction, PQ light got incident on the prism. In this way, that light got finally emergent from the prism. Getting what I mean to say? I mean, this is the emergent light ray direction and this is the incident light ray direction. Now here the angle between this incident light ray direction and emergent light ray direction, this one I named as delta. Delta is called as angle of deviation, total angle of deviation. Here two refraction takes place. One first refraction on AB surface, second refraction on AC surface. That light suffered some deviation at first surface and finally it suffered some deviation at second surface. I mean, a light which entered into prism by coming from, to come out finally from the prism, to come out finally from the prism, it suffered some amount of deviation. That total deviation is here. Instead of going along PQ straight, due to the presence of prism, that light ray changed their path in this direction. Look on these two lines only. Instead of going like this, due to the presence of prism, that light gone like this. I mean, this delta is the total angle of deviation. Have you understood? Yes. This intersection point, you name it as M. And the intersection point of those two normal, you name as N. Have you understood? Yes. This is about the refraction of that light through the prism. It got two refractions, two deviations. Getting? Yes. Now, according to that diagram, we are going to derive some expressions here. I mean, we are going to find finally the refractive index of that prism material with respect to their surrounding medium. Okay? Yes. To get that, now look here. We go with this diagram now. Okay? That one thing. I said this deviation 2, that delta 2, I shifted from here to here. Look on the diagram. This delta is shifted here. Why? Because vertically opposite angles. Getting? Yes. Now you come here. Here I is the angle of incidence to the AB surface and R1 is the angle of refraction to the AB surface. Here R2 is the angle of incidence to the AC surface and E angle of refraction to the surface AC. Okay? Now look here. In the quadrilateral AQNR, two angles are right angles. Where is that quadrilateral AQNR? Look here in the diagram. This is A. This is Q. And this one is N. And this one is R. Look on this quadrilateral AQNR. Two angles are right angles. Which are those? This angle, angle Q, is 90 degree. Why? Because to this point of incidence, you have drawn perpendicular line. That's why because of this perpendicular line, this angle is 90 degree. Similarly, at point R, you draw one perpendicular. That's why this R angle also 90 degree. I mean, in this quadrilateral A, Q, N, R, angle Q and R are 90 degree. If these two are 90, then the sum of remaining two angles is equal to the 180 degree. Totally it is 360. Among 360, two angles are equal to 180. Then remaining two are also equal to 180. Then which are those remaining two angles in that AQNR quadrilateral? They are angle A and angle QNR, these two angles that I have written, remaining angles, angle A and QNR, their sum is equal to 180 degree. Have you understood? Yes. Now, and after that, from triangle QNR, we can write as, from that triangle QNR, where is that QNR? Look here. This is Q, and this one is N, and this one is R. The sum of all three angles of that triangle is equal to 180 degree. Yes. The sum of those three angles of this triangle QNR. See here, which are those three angles? First angle is R1 and another one is R2. Remaining is QNR. Then what we can write? R1 plus R2 plus QNR is equal to 180 degree. We understood? The sum of three angles of the triangle is equal to 180 degree. That we have written here. Angle R1 plus angle R2 plus angle QNR is equal to 180 degree. Yes. Then compare equation 1 and 2. See here in equation 1 you have what you have written. Angle A plus QNR equal to 180 degree. Look on equation 1 and 2. RHS is 180 degree, 180 degree. If RHS are equal, then LHS are also equal. Then what we treat? R1 plus R2 plus QNR is equal to A plus QNR. Means what? Here also QNR is there. Here also QNR is there. Then what you can conclude? That angle A is equal to angle R1 plus angle R2. By comparing equation 1 and 2, we can write angle A is equal to angle R1 plus angle R2. Name it as equation number 3. Okay? Yes. Now look here. I have written. I already told that the total deviation. Where is that total deviation? Total deviation means what? The angle between incident light and the emergent light. This is the PQ is the incident light. RS is the emergent light. Instead of going along PQ, that gone along RS, it changed their path by this angle. That we call as a total angle of deviation. Getting what I mean to say? That delta, that total deviation is equal to the sum of deviations suffered by the light on both surface. How much it suffered on first surface? It suffered by delta 1, and on second surface it suffered by delta 2. I mean that total deviation, that delta is equal to delta 1 plus delta 2. Like that we can. Okay. See here I have written that one. The total deviation delta is equal to delta 1 plus delta 2. Here in place of delta 1 I have written I minus R1. How? That is very important. Look on the diagram. Look here on the diagram. This I and the sum of delta 1 and R1. I mean this total angle. This one, this total angle. This total angle is vertically opposite to this one. Are you getting what I mean to say? This total angle means what? It is delta 1 plus R1. Delta 1 plus R1 is nothing but equal to I. Vertically opposite angles, but we need a delta 1. What I mean? I is equal to delta 1 plus R1. Then delta 1 is equal to I minus R1. Have you understood what I mean to say? I equal to delta 1 plus R1. Then delta 1 is equal to I minus R1. Here I have written. Have you understood? Then similarly in place of delta 2, I have written E minus R2. Why? Look on the diagram again. See here. I said I shifted this delta to here, vertically opposite angles. Look now. This is the angle of emergence. This angle of emergence E is equal to the sum of angle of these two. Why? Because vertically opposite angle. The sum of delta 2 and R2, this angle, this total angle is vertically opposite angle. I mean E is equal to delta 2 plus R2. We want delta 2. Then delta 2 is equal to E minus R2. Have you understood? Look in the diagram. This angle E is equal to this total angle. That is nothing but sum of delta 2 and R2. E equal to delta 2 plus R2. Then delta 2 is equal to E minus R2. Here I have written E minus R2. Okay? Getting what I mean to say? Then that one only. Look here again. What we have done? Here I just taken minus common, and then it becomes delta is equal to I as usual plus E as usual. From these two I have taken minus as a common, then minus into R1 plus R2. Here in place of R1 plus R2 I replaced that term by A. Why? Because from our previous equation 3 we can conclude like that angle A is equal to sum of angle R1 and R2. So that R1 plus R2 I replaced by angle A. Name it as equation number 4. Okay. See, now look on this diagram. Here we have sent that light through that prism by having an angle of incidence I. For that particular angle of incidence I, we got total angle of deviation as delta. If we change this direction, if we change that angle of incidence, for that particular angle of incidence there will be another angle of deviation. As we going on changing the angle of incidence, there we will be getting different angle of deviations. Okay? Yes, that angle of deviation depends on the angle of incidence. Okay? They have performed one experiment with different angle of incidence. They have passed the light rays through that prism. For every angle of incidence they got respective angle of deviation. After getting a set of reading, they have plotted a graph. Thereafter plotting the graph between those angle of deviations and angle of incidence, they got the nature like this. Here there is a graph between angle of deviation and angle of incidence. Thereafter plotting that, they got the curve like this. By their reading only they plotted. After plotting they got nature like this. Now you see what you can conclude by seeing the graph. See, by seeing the graph here, see this nature. Just look here. For this respective angle of deviation, this is y-axis, along that we have taken angle of deviation. Along the x-axis we have taken angle of incidence. For this particular angle of deviation, how many angle of incidences are there? Look, we just extend it like this. This particular reading going to